This is a tutorial for Metal Gear Rising modern modding. This tutorial is meant for absolutely newbies. So if you're new to modding this game, don't worry. This will cover absolutely everything you need for modern modding, even from the very basics. I recommend to get a mod manager. I'm gonna use Rising Mod Manager. You can use anything you like or installing game data, etc. I'm gonna use this one in this guide. So I'm gonna get this and put it into my Metal Gear Rising folder along the exe file of it. Now we need a tool to unpack and manage the game files. I'm gonna use MGR Auto Tools, a tool of mine, but you can use anything you like. I'm gonna download this. Now we can we need to download Blender. We can use probably a modern version of it. I don't recommend to get 0.4 as it's kind of unstable, especially with the plugin we need. So I'm gonna use Blender 3.6. You can probably go up to 4.1 if you want to, but I'm gonna use this version. I'm gonna download the zip file right here. Now we need oh we need the near to Blender to near plugin, but the MGR fork of it from this user. Download the normal one, as it's not going to work with MGR models. Good code, download zip. Of course, I'm gonna link everything in the description. Don't worry, you don't need to manually search all of this. Now, we need the voxel skinning plugin, and this is gonna be useful later. It's as a file, and we need GIMP to convert like export DDS as PNG files and the other way around too. We're gonna download this. Alright, everything's downloading and should be finished pretty soon. We have everything. We can close all of this. Boom, 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 boom. We're gonna extract the MGO2 zip and the Blender zip. Alright, now we got the MGO2 tools folder, and to install it we just simply open this file. You probably need this to convert a USM file to MP4. We're not gonna need that right now, so we're gonna press N. And this is not relevant right now. I'm not gonna cover it, so wait pressing now. Alright, now if we click any right click any file, we see the main tool and TextureTool context menu entries. So that's installed. Alright, now we got the Blender 3.6. You can download the zip files. I'm not gonna do it right now. These two. We're gonna go to the Metal Gear Rising folder and go into game data. Okay, now they will find the data 000 CPK file. We're gonna extract it. Just right click and click on main tool. We're not gonna fully extract it because it's gonna be a waste of time to do that. So we're just going to open it in CPK browser. Now we see a lot of folders. We actually want to get the right and body files. Those goes PL1010 up to PL1017. Alright, we can choose all of this, and we're gonna click on extract. Now that's gonna be extracted here. I'm gonna move it for convenience. PL, and now we have all those files. These are empty as they're 0 kilobytes. We can delete them. Alright, now we're gonna open Blender launcher, not the Blender exe, Blender launcher. Right. Into the preferences. I don't know how it's pronounced. Into the add-ons tab, we're gonna click on install, and in the downloads folder, we're gonna find the Nia to Blender to Nia master zip, and we enable that. Had to double click before, and now we just click the box. Now it's that installed, and we need the voxel skinning plugin, and we enable that. Alright, well, you actually need to clean up the scene because the plugin does it automatically. Now we're gonna import that .ddt file for MGR. Now we're gonna locate the files we extracted earlier. We're gonna click on PL1010. Alright, now we see Ryan's body. And we're actually going to open another Blender instance to prepare our model. That's not completely necessary. You could have prepared it earlier, but I didn't. So we're gonna open another Blender instance. We're gonna import our model that we want to mod into the game. So I have in this format GLB. Alright. Oh, sorry. We import this. Alright, it's pretty big. We're gonna delete the rest of the Blender collection. Okay, this model is kind of weird. I'm gonna increase the view distance to see it more clearly because it's really big. If your model has an amateur, great. But especially if it's not T-pose, because Ryan's body is T-pose like that, and we actually need to pose the model like that. You probably want to remove every mesh. Those are meshes. Well, this model includes only one mesh and an armature, but some models might include more than one mesh separately. So keep as many meshes as possible, or if you have more of them, don't worry. You can still do this. So thankfully, this has vertex groups for the vertices we don't want. We can also move the bones for in this case, the sword and the sheath and the foot. So I'm gonna actually select the vertex groups I want to remove. So we see this has the entire vertices selected. So we're gonna click on where there's nothing to unselect everything. We're gonna start to select the vertex groups we want to delete the vertices from them. We want to keep the hair and head and such. Um, I'm actually going to select the sort vertex groups. You probably have it differently in another model, but the process is kind of the same. You just have another names. Should I find the sheath vertex group? Alright, we located it. Now that we located it, we can safely delete the vertices of range. So we just press the L from there. Actually, this and this just in case. So just click in the vertex group and select the vertices and del vertices. Delete vertices. Right now our model is much more cleaner, as you can see. Oh, actually we missed the fluid vertex group. You can also, if you don't have proper vertex groups or something, you can just go into wire mesh mode and select them manually. That's the thing I'm going to do. So yeah, once selected, we do the same. Delete vertices to the del bottom. All right, can restore this. And now our model is clean, but it's not posed. So we're gonna actually show the armature. We're going to the pose mode. Um, if you don't have an armature on your model, this is kind of difficult. You have to like manage the vertex groups we seen earlier, and just like figure out how to like rotate them and such, which is kind of difficult actually. So that's entirely possible, but it's hard. For example, we have this and we can try to like move this and rotate it, but it's kind of hard to pose it that way. But don't worry, you're just gonna have some bad time, but you're gonna still get through. All right. Um, we're gonna go into the you have to select the armature and go into the pose mode. All right. We're gonna locate the wire mesh mode, preferably the bone that is for the arm in this model. I think it's this one. No, it's one of this. Gonna keep looking for it. Okay, all right, we find it. We're gonna want to like keep this as T-pose as possible because T-pose is actually like 90 degrees almost. All right. Just try to keep this as the best you can. You can use this, but it's not that great. Adjusting it manually should work, like by hand. And this is a mess, but I think we know the bone we need. Now this one. It's difficult to see around when you have like a lot of bones, but you're gonna find it. Alright, we found both. And we also want to like keep the hands. Um, actually no, you can just keep it like that, but I'm gonna rotate it a little bit. Not do it like to and to stretch. Like if you do this, it's going to suck. Your final result is going to suck. So try to like keep this as normal as possible. We can select all of the hand of the bones and just mess around with it. We also need to rotate it like this because otherwise it's not going to be T-posed properly. Alright, this arm is mostly done. You don't need it to be perfect. You can adjust it like not that precisely. So don't worry about it. So this. Alright. More or less. We also want to rotate ish. How does it look? This is the one to rotate, actually. Alright. It seems kind of T-pose. Don't worry about this finger not being like right in. We're gonna adjust the right in armature later. We can actually hit the armature. Now our model is kind of done. So we're just gonna export for this. FBX. I'm gonna just do the same thing. Yeah, FBX should be. Actually, can save this scene. So can Yasuo dot blend, right? Um, we're gonna load that scene and we're gonna import Raiden again. Then don't save. I'm gonna close this. Yasuo blend. We see. Oh, so some models might be like really much bigger than. Oh, actually, you need to do something else for the pose to be applied on the model. Because we go into the edit mode, it seems like we did nothing. We need to apply visual transform the pose and then go to the object mode. And on the mesh, these are the modifiers. And we click these options and click on apply. Just to be sure, go into the pose mode again and apply pose respose, select respose. And this one again, just to be sure. Now, yeah, our changes are applying to edit mode, so we're gonna continue. This model is like much bigger than the Raiden's model, so we're gonna scale it down along with the armature, mesh and armature. Otherwise, it's gonna just like be very weird. I mean, GL models have like very little the blender plane. Right, probably even, yeah, probably like that. Right, always save, like save your progress, because if you do a mistake, you can go back. Otherwise, if you do a silly mistake, you're probably not gonna recover easily from it. All right, this is easy spy. We're just gonna import Raiden's model again. And we uncheck this because otherwise our model is gonna be gone. So we just import this. Alright. Actually, overscale it a little. Probably just like that is going to work fine. Alright, so Blender's view is sometimes kind of fucky, but don't worry. Alright, seems kind of okay. I'm gonna from the angles and see. Doesn't have to be like a 100% exact, so don't worry. You can still adjust the armature if you want to. So I actually wanna. Uh, well, I think it's fine. All right. Um, so to we need to join our mesh to our MGR model. Now this model is just one mesh, so we're gonna delete the other meshes, just as this ones. So I'm gonna actually just straight up delete them. Well, not yet. Actually, not yet. We're gonna delete them later. Don't worry about it now. First, we need to think about the vertex groups. Is if everything is adjusted, like the T-pose and things, just delete all the vertex groups. Delete all groups. Um, Keep in mind, now you can't adjust anything with the armature. Actually, gonna delete the armature. Well, we're gonna just delete it later. Now we're just gonna hide it as it's going to modify the model still. The UV map should be the same as this UV map, which is flow 2. Don't worry about these extra UV maps. It's just flow 2. Alright. Our model has 3 materials, but it's actually just one in use for one mesh. The other ones were for the sword and the flute we just removed. Alright. Now we don't have any barracks groups, and we actually want to delete our material. Boom. Now we need to get models, random models ready. I'm just gonna delete these materials, and we're gonna also delete the barracks groups. Right? We don't have any barracks groups in any of them. This is alright. I was check. There's nothing wrong with double checking at all. The more you double check, the more you're gonna succeed probably. Alright, I noticed something. That our arm is like very low. We're gonna adjust that. We're gonna repair it. You can always do this. Like we're kind of screwed actually. So Blender has like you can undo everything. There's a limit. So remember when I said earlier to save files, like always save. So that's the reason why I told you. Want to still adjust this as because Blender didn't let me repair the pairs groups delete. So we're still going into the pose mode. We're gonna adjust this. Actually, we're gonna adjust it with random models loaded. Random model. I import it again. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot easier. By the way, to select things, multiple things like that, I'm pressing Control and then click. Let's get it up. Um, just a little bit more. All Alright, it seems kinda nice. Just a little bit. And we're gonna adjust the arms. That's what we're going to do. Leg seems fine. The rest seems fine. I'll hide the mesh. Looks fine, I think. Right. Yeah. I think it looks fine. We can adjust the armature later if we need it. Alright. Going to the pose mode again. And oh, wait, what? Oh, um, to edit the position of the model, the rotation of it, etc., you need to have a modifier. Remember that we apply a modifier earlier. Well, just add a new one, amateur one. Select the skin mesh, and it should now rotate correctly. Into the pose mode again. I'm going to adjust, well, not this one. I'm gonna hide Ryan's armature and his meshes. This one, I think. Alright, now that we find it, so this, now we can see it. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I want it to be as close as possible. Right, the bone hands, hand bones, sorry. Refine them. Let's just rotate them. Just a little, I'm messing it with too much. A lot. But the more you adjust, the better the results. Just don't make it a mess. How does this look without rhinos here? I think it looks fine. Yeah. And we're gonna do the same into the other side. This one, I think. Yeah. Go too crazy with it, but it's great to adjust as close as the Rhinos model. Right. And now hide this armature, show the Rhinos one. And show every mesh. Alright. Remember to apply, select everything, control, with A, you select everything, control A to apply, visual transform the pose, and we go to the object. Now in the object mode, I'm gonna select the mesh, and now do this and apply it. Alright, edit mode, alright. Changes are, oh, we also actually need to adjust legs. What the hell? Looks fine still. Just a little bit more. I sometimes applying a modifier make some things weird. Oh, I don't know why exactly. Uh, just in case we're going to the post mode again, private transform, just all of this. Alright, and just will mesh. Alright, it didn't change anything, so it's just fine. Now I want to adjust legs. So I'm going to post them again. You don't need to like do this for every single time you want to edit. You can edit it on in one step. I just get confused and forget some things. I think it looks fine. Well, not that good actually. I think. Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. I say like the feet bones I like very big. Yeah, it's alright. Let's select the other one. Or leg bone. Also wanna adjust just this. I think it's fine. Alright. Now we do the same. We select everything, Control A, return on to pose, extra object mode, mesh this two, and apply. Now into the pose mode again, and this, and this. Alright. And alright. So now we should start joining it. We're gonna delete the materials, vertex groups, remember float 2, delete our groups, right in, can delete the extra UV maps for to have no errors. In all groups, I'm gonna delete the materials of it. Boom. It's going to look textureless, but it makes sense. Everything should be okay. Yeah, I think it's very okay. I'm going to delete material this just in case. Double check everything. Alright, I think it's time to join it. So we first click on our custom model mesh, and then we want to shift click onto the mesh we want it to join. If possible, keep everything in one mesh, then we will split it later. Alright. So just once that's done, well, actually, we need to like check if our vertices of the model are selected. In this case, no, but if they are, just make them non-selected by clicking everywhere else. And the right-hand vertices should be selected, right? Just Control A just in case, A just in case, and everything's selected. We're going to first our custom model one, then the right one, not the opposite. And then we join. It's gonna look a little weird first, but don't worry. We delete the vertices now, and I'm going to delete the other meshes as I don't need them. Alright. Now we deleted those. You can probably delete side arm but I'm not gonna do that right now because the sheath might have issues. Actually, I probably not, but still, I'm gonna keep it just for this time. Actually, I'm gonna delete it. You know what? All right. It's weird because it has the Rhinus texture applied, but don't worry. Alright, now what we want to do is regenerate the vertex groups. Oh, first we're gonna adjust the Rhinus armature to our model. Um, with that we see the armature. I'm going to the edit mode and adjust like as close as possible. Our legs are pretty okay, so probably we won't need to adjust them much. Yeah, I think they look fine. But our hands are not that great. Um, I don't recommend to move bones. Just scale them and rotate them, right? Um, Probably need to scale this one. Actually, it's better to do this in pose mode and then apply it. As it's a yeah, the scale affects other bones. Want to no, I'm gonna scale this one. Rotate it first, then scale it. Just like that. Yeah, amazing. Um, it's a little bit off. I'm gonna rotate the hand bones, the bone hand, just by a little bit. So, oh no, actually, we're gonna adjust them manually. Um, yeah, it's okay. Oh, I can actually do this. So try to not keep them like outside the mesh if possible. Otherwise, don't worry. Yeah, that can happen. Um, just like really much. This takes time, but it's worth. I'm gonna do a cut and come back when I finish it. Well, I have finished adjusting most of it. Of course, it's not perfect, but it looks fine. You can move bones fine, of course, in post mode. So as the same as earlier, we're going to publish and transform to pose, and then click on the mesh. Then now it's PL1010. Actually, I want to delete the other armature, the custom model one, and then keep the Rhinus one. And we do this, and then apply. We go back to the post mode again. We're selecting the bones. Hold on. And then all of this. And now in edit mode, it looks fine. The bone, it's this one is kind of fucked up, but I don't care. Now we should see our armature. Oh, we also need to adjust something more actually. So you can separate like it's done in the game, like you can separate head, body, and hair, but it's not that convenient because you will need to adjust it, and if your barracks groups of from your original model aren't that good, for example, some head vertices in the head barracks group are like attached to the body instead, you can screw it up. So it's actually better to just like keep it this way. Keep in mind you won't have face animations with this method, but that's not something I'm going to cover. Alright, so you see that bone, like that little bone there? We want to take that because that's the head bone, and we need to rotate a little and scale it a lot because we have an actual head here. Um, Looks great. Can rotate this. Should be fine, I think. Also included hair, so um, it will should be just as fine. Alright. I think it's okay. Now, we also need to apply these changes. This method is kind of fucked up, but it works. Pause, response, touch, add a modifier, amateur. I actually want to see yield 1010, this, and click on apply. And go into the post again just to be sure. Alright, looks amazing. Alright. Need to just add the modifier again, but don't apply it. Right. Well, we're now mostly done. And now it's time to regenerate the vertex groups with a little area. That's the reason why we need the plugin, the voxel skinning plugin. Alright. We're going to mesh online. We're gonna separate first, actually, we're gonna separate the hands of the model, otherwise it's gonna be a little screwed up. The vertex group generation. So now we see the model here, and let me adjust the blender navigation. Alright, and now we see it kind of correctly. We're gonna select just try to be as precise as possible, but don't be perfect. Shift, hold shift to add vertices to the selection. And then separate selection. Actually, also want to separate the hands between themselves. I'm gonna select the new mesh and click on separate. So both hands should be separated now. It's very important to do that because otherwise you probably hit the vertex group limit. There's a limit on how much vertex groups a mesh can handle. Otherwise, the lighting of the model is gonna be kind of fucked up. And also going to separate into. Oh, actually, no. Hold on. Keep right now. Just keep one Uh, keep them as one. Later we will separate them. Um, all right. Now we're gonna rename this zero body one. So just don't match any other mesh already existing mesh name. You can do like zero body 8 if you want to. All right. Now we're gonna generate the vertex groups. I'm going to the mesh online tab and influence bones. We're gonna select 4. You select the bones, and we need to select the mesh and select the armature with shift. And we just click on voxel heat diffuse skinning. Can take some seconds, don't worry, especially in slow computers. All right. Our vertex groups should be generated just for the entire body, not the hands. I'm gonna cover the hands now, but first I'm going to check. I'm gonna check if the weights are correct. It's fine, I think. It's mostly fine. Actually, why did it generate? There's X finger out. No, I think I know why. I'll remove that. You can remove some of them if they have some issues for you, but we're not gonna worry about it right now. You know what? I'm gonna regenerate the barracks groups so this doesn't happen. The hand bone don't get too affected. So hold on, I'm gonna make a cut. Alright, now they look kind of correct. I wish the head got more cover, but I think it's gonna work just fine. Hair is just green, so don't worry. It's better if it's like more red or something or brown. But don't worry if it looks like that. It should work fine. Now we're going to the hands. Instead of using the voxel heat diffuse skinning, we're gonna use the surface heat diffuse skinning, as this can be like, more precise for hands. Influence bones this, use these options. And now again we select the armature with shift and then surface heat diffuse skinning. Right, wait, oh, I already generated it. I'm gonna show what it looks like. In here, right, it was pretty fast. I don't like that, but that's weird, but I think it's mostly fine. Can like adjust the vertex cross manually. Let's go into the draw thing, and in this case, I'm gonna notify the base here. Right. We paint this. Sometimes it doesn't generate too correctly because, as you can see, this bone is like outside the hand, so that's kind of normal. I'm gonna make a cut to adjust it. Or now that's better. Those are mostly fine. Let's see the other side though. Um, 5, 8. Oh, that's like really weird. This should do. Right. Uh, rest looks mostly fine. Yeah, that can happen with, especially with models in models with clothes. So that's normal. Right. Adjust it until you like it. Right. And don't worry about the small details. Alright, mostly it looks fine, so I'm gonna just leave it like that. Now we want to split this mesh and the hands because of the vertex group limit. Gonna select the hands and I'm going to select them right here and click on separate. That's semi-split actually. On this, gonna select the legs. Worry about selection. I'll say this. Alright. Should be great already. Should be like actually ready to go. 0.8. Alright, this, and this. Alright. For now, the material needs to have our texture applied and our normal map. This is the idea of the texture. You can really like change it to anything you want, but I'm gonna leave it like that. The thing you're going to do is now see the DTT file, that like, alright, just right click one of those and select TextureTool, and it's going to drop the textures, right? So now this should be it. Now we have this texture and this normal map. So luckily our texture is in GDS format, this one. If it's not, what you're going to do is install GIMP. Right? Gotta do a cut here. Right, now we have GIMP. We actually need the texture in PNG format because we're going to generate the normal map. So I still need it even if my texture is like already in GDS format. So we're gonna wait for GIMP to start. Now GIMP started and we're gonna drop our texture into here. Open. Now we see the texture. We're gonna export it as PNG. So we change the extension. Default settings should be fine. Alright. Now we need this PNG file. We're going to drop it here to generate our normal map. Invert the green. I think that's what you should do. And we're gonna adjust the strength, otherwise it's gonna look like a little sharper. 1 and 7 should always look fine, I think. I don't know if you actually need to invert it green. I'm gonna do it, otherwise like, you can just like generate it again without a problem. You don't need to even load the texture again. And since we're here, as was for our file name, and we can already give it the normal map file name, which is this one. You can check it here, there in the material. You can now download it. And we're gonna save it here. Alright, we have our normal map. Right? So now we are going to import the normal map that is in PNG format, and we're gonna export it as DDS. Now let's put DDS. All right. You can use no compression, but this is the recommended one. Just all visible layers, and we're gonna export it. All right. Have our DDS normal map and our DDS texture. Of course, if your texture is in PNG format, also convert it like I did with the normal map. We're gonna copy this and put it here. All right. And we're going to replace this. Now I'm actually going to export the model. Export WMB4, and we're gonna set it to that, and then the WMB. Alright, seems like we did everything fine because it gave no errors. Oh, also, you can use this if you have any issues. Just select all meshes. Mesh, not the amateur. And click on object, and choose rip mesh by UBI sound. I'm gonna export it again just in case. That's not necessarily needed, but still. Alright. Everything should be correct now. It's our new WMB. Alright. And we just right click on any of the 3 folders of here. I'm gonna delete this. And we do TextureTool. Should repack everything correctly. Now we need to delete the models of this. So I'm gonna remove the hair model and repack. Just right click in the folder and click on main tool. This is the sword. This is the sheath. This is the visor, I think. Should be the visor. Just the WMB. And also the head. I don't want any visors, so I deleted it and boom. Now our files should be ready. The files we modded, of course, not the other ones. So I'm gonna copy them. Copy them. Go. Oh, yeah, I don't have it. I'm actually gonna make a shortcut of this just for convenience. Gonna open it. Usually, no, it should be like mostly set up. You might need to change some things. I had already installed it earlier, so I have some mods already. So we're going to install this as a new mod if you want, and put a title you want, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now in the data000 folder, I'm going to create a PL folder in this case. And boom. Our mod should be good to go. I'm actually gonna add a new mod. Remember the ACV file that I told Ariel that was going to help us? Well, I'll see much here later. I'm gonna copy this and boom. This should be in the DLL file. It should match the name of the file right there. And I'm gonna copy it here. Boom. I'm gonna delete this. We're gonna enable both modes. Yes, so boom. Alright. Should be good to go. Going to close game actually because I don't need it. I'm gonna close this. Alright. Since saved. Going to launch the game. Actually, yeah. Going to load into the game. Alright. It's mostly fine, actually. I mean, the normal map is a little bit broken. You can always adjust that, the parameters and such. But it's mostly actually fine. Like, yeah, the hands are a little bit broken, but that's expected because I didn't adjust the armature really properly. But it works. I mean, it's mostly great. Yeah, I press F4 to open the material editor. We're gonna choose the body. As I already selected. Body 0, and then I'm gonna adjust the deformation parameter, for example, and you're gonna see that it looks much nicer. And this is for the bloom and darkness. Alright, it looks mostly fine. You can adjust the normal map if you want it to look better, and some material properties that you need to edit in Blender. Just like in these fields, they are the same fields as the material editor. So, for example, we're gonna copy the changes here, 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 and here, and here. Then explore the model again. But it's mostly that. That's done. The body is done. Gonna cover the sheath and the blade. So I'm gonna close the game. I can actually Alt F4. Alright. Gonna export our model again. So we're going to the Merge Rising folder, mods, Yasuo, PL, and then in TPO 1010 .dat we're gonna unpack it. And now we're gonna copy this folder. We're going to the export tab. It was for as WM before, of course. And then we just select that and export WMB file again. So now our material changes are applied. Okay. Now we're moving to the sword, which is like very easy. I have an already set up MGR model, but it works with any model. So I'm gonna take that and load that into Blender to for the sword. So now we can save this and just go into a new one, select everything, delete. Alright, so we're going to import our like the model of the game, the vanilla model, which is the sword one. Oh, I'm actually going to do the sheath one first. Alright. Great. And now I'm gonna import my custom model. Usually it will be like in the FBX or like in the Blender scene, like I did earlier with the body, but this time it's on already set up MGR file. I'm gonna load it. Should be here, right there. Here, here, here. No, actually, should be here. So I'm gonna make a copy of it. Yeah, so and just take this. Actually, don't need the DTT file of it because our texture is already contained. It's already going to be contained in the PL of the sword, like right there. The DTT contains texture files, so we can actually delete it. So now going to import the sheath. I'm gonna make a copy. I already made a copy. Don't reset the Blender scene on import. This is very important. Alright, we like there's a stack on top of each other, but you get the point. Alright. Usually it will be like the body, like you need to adjust it probably like this and without this mesh and everything. Like this, it will probably look something like this. But that's just adjust it. You don't need to have this mesh already since we're gonna export it with the sheet, right? Alright. Actually, we don't need this at all. We don't need to connect sheet. Actually, it works fine without it. Right? And we're gonna delete the extra one. Okay, now we're gonna move it just to do a quick demonstration. Well, no, actually, no. We're not gonna move it. I'm gonna hide the amateur of it, of my custom model one. I already adjusted, but usually to fit the sword, you can like scale it, move it, or rotate it. Scale is with S key. Did I mention it earlier? Quick note: don't like try to do these changes in edit mode, not in object mode, because if you rotate here, you can't apply the rotation. Like you can, but it's gonna be bugged in game because this 90 degrees rotation shouldn't be applied. Alright, so if you want to adjust it, just do it like select all the vertices with A and just like rotate them here. It's already gonna be applied. Okay. Now the writing sheath only has one vertex group, so it's not like we need to generate another vertex groups with the plugin. So as you can see, the vanilla, it's just one fully red vertex group. So we don't need to actually do anything. Like we actually just need to. Usually this doesn't exist. Of course, always rename the UV map to match the name. In this case, it's already renamed, but imagine if I it was UV map, you need to rename it to float2, right? Then we're going to delete the material surface, right? Now, like earlier, I actually need to generate the vertex group for this. So we add a vertex group and put the name of upper armel in this case. I'm gonna copy it, and we see that it's not applied. So we're going to the edit mode, go to the vertex groups, keep every vertices selected, all the vertices, and just click on assign. Alright, and it should be all red. Yep. And just like that, we can already join our meshes. So we just do this and Control J to join. No, actually no. First you need to unselect your model vertices and keep the vanilla ones selected. Right? So just join and delete vertices. And it's kind of like already adjusted because I did it, but you can adjust it at your likings even after export. I'm gonna remove this material, and now we are going to try to match the texture we already loaded. Well, actually, we didn't. We're going to load that. Should be. I have the sword and sheath texture in one file, so I'm gonna locate. Oh, I'm gonna locate it here, and also boom, boom, boom. Actually, I don't have it. I'm gonna extract it from the mod itself because I can. But usually I already have it. Texture tool here. Now I already have it. Sorry, what? Well, that's kind of not correct. Hold on, I'm gonna make a cut. I just remember that the texture it's actually the same. Actually gonna take this normal map because it's like better than the one that we generated earlier. You actually don't need to invert the green. It just looks fine without it. Anyways, I'm gonna put this here, and we're going to use the model textures, right? So we need to just change this. Our texture was, let me open it, check. Texture what? I also going to replace the normal map. Alright. Now you can actually delete the extra textures from here, so just like your mod doesn't get too bloated or anything. If you're not going to make a custom sheath, of course don't delete this because they include the sheath textures and other things. Alright. I just need to copy the ID of this. Let's change this. Now our sheath should be ready to export. Just make sure to not keep multiple collections. And just in case, rename this the original one. Alright. Looks great. I'm also going to apply the material changes so it looks also fine here. We're just going to export. Going to copy the PL1013 and I'm gonna unpack it. No, not here. I'm just gonna copy the folder path and just export. Alright, sheet is ready. This is ready, right? Oh, but we're going to do it for the sword too. So we're gonna copy this and copy the vanilla files, probably. Over here. Actually, you don't need the DTT as it also references texture from here. So we're actually going to import. I'm going to. I actually need it. Check this. So the sheath motor isn't here anymore after exporting. And going to the folder. Alright. And just import this or that. That's a vanilla one. And I also got imported my model one. It should be here. So don't reset the blender scenery import. Alright. So it's already adjusted like the sheet, but just adjust it. Try to, yeah. You don't need to keep the armature of this. Alright. Seems cool. And just like do the same, but in this case you actually don't need any vertex groups. I mean, oh, I think I know why this happens. Oh, well, so the plugin actually, I think already applies automatic weights for this. The sword usually has two meshes. I'm gonna delete the actual one. Boom. And I'm going to, yeah, of course, adjust a normal map. I'm going to delete the material from here. Usually don't have this. Well, just regenerate it like I did with the sheath. Just do it with hip instead of upper RML, but it should already be ready to join. So we just first make sure this is not selected. Then we just we just join that. The parentheses. And we're also gonna apply these changes. The shader name too should be this one. You can also copy materials. I do click on update string, copy material to clipboard from one mesh. Then you paste material from clipboard and they update the material from string. I'm not going to do that here, but I just explain how to do it. Because sometimes if you change the shader name, it's not gonna match the parameters and it's gonna be bugged or it's just straight up going to crash. Alright, you also need to put the texture here, the normal map, Yeah, and we export. Right, and we're gonna repack this with TextureTool. I'm gonna delete this folder. I'm gonna unpack the sort.dat file, and we're going to do this, and boom. Actually, just to be sure, just in case, just to be sure, the rename and delete some stuff. Alright, should be done. Gonna check it in game, see how it looks like. Alright, oh, sometimes this can happen with some meshes, which is kind of weird, honestly. Yeah, it's a sword. So remember what I said of copying material? We're exactly going to do that. We're going to load another Blender scene. Because yeah, everything looks fine, I think. I think I actually can delete the vertex group and do an export. But in addition to that, I'm gonna open another Blender scene. And well, sometimes the plugin doesn't get applied. I don't know why. Gonna don't save this. Let's see. The plugin is applied, so we're going to import the first the sheath, right? So since like the sheet works fine, so I'm gonna update stream from material, copy the material, then we're going to the sort.dat, and then we apply the boom. Alright, should be great. Amazing. Export. Boom, boom, boom. Alright. We can close Blender and see how it works. What is it? Well, sometimes this can happen. I don't actually know why. But some material adjusting should be it. I'm going to try to fix that model off camera. Alright, so I fixed the issue. So don't use a body material on a sword. Just keep the body material, edit it as much as you want. But just like edit the texture to match your body textures. But actually, in this case, the body textures, you might want to like load textures in edit DDT file, especially in po1010.dtt. But in this case, it's just fine. Alright, so Actually, gonna re-export this because I just did some material values. You can see that the shader name is the original, not the XBCX, XXCX is it is instead. Boom. It works just as fine. Yeah, just adjust the hands properly and you won't have literally any issues. Like, this works almost perfectly. Alright, I think that's it for the video. Keep in mind, if you wanna use Raiden's body in another, body, like for example use Raiden's body in Sam's body, or the opposite, you get a bone merge, use a proper kind of bone merger. There's already a tutorial of it, so I'm not gonna cover it. And for Sam, you might have some issues with some bones, like just there are some bones attached to the sword, so just find them, find the bone ID, and select the vertex group of them. Alright, that's it. See ya.